Right,
Okay.
so welcome to another episode, Soundtrack of Our Lives. I'm here with Helen Powell. You work with PawPrints, or volunteer with?
Volunteer.
Say, yeah.
I've volunteered
PawPrints.
with them for nearly 6 years now.
Yeah.
I was self-employed when I started volunteering with them, and then I've been employed for the last 5.5 years.
Yeah.
But I still volunteer. Started off as a dog walker. Sometimes do walking or the washing up and laundry. Not so much lately, but I've also joined their health and safety committee, because that's what
Is that
I
your
do.
background?
The background
Yeah,
is health and safety. So I'm on the committee, and then fundraising events. They've got their biggest fundraiser of the year, a fortnight today, 9th of June.
Yeah.
And I'm running a plant stall. So I've been growing things on my allotment and
So
the
lots of
garden.
stuff to
sell.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And where will this event be? How?
it will be at the Old Laurentians rugby ground
Yeah.
on Lime Tree Avenue in Rugby.
Okay.
9:30 start. They've got all sorts of fun shows for the dogs, categories rather.
Yeah.
So I've sponsored the waggiest tail category.
So this is like fun crufts or
Fun
something. isn't it?
crufts, yeah.
This is a lot more relaxed and good fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they've got an agility thing as well, but mostly it's
Mostly sort of silly
fun things, but loads of stalls and
Yeah.
whatever we can do to raise funds.
So it's a great
There'll be-
pop out with the family whenever.
Yeah.
Come along.
Bring your dogs.
Bring your dogs, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dog friendly.
Yeah. And so as I always do with this, I'll put all of that in the description of the video.
Great.
And we'll mention it in the post and everything. So when it goes out, which will be Monday, tomorrow, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Losing track of days. So this will go out tomorrow morning, and we'll share it on all the socials and hopefully get people a bit more aware of it. They can come along and help have a bit of fun and help raise some funds for PawPrints.
And if anyone's got any spare plants I can sell, bring them along.
Yeah, get them down there as well. Yeah, they won't go amiss, will they? Someone will snap them up. So yeah, that's and then so you say you've been there a few years, and do you still do the dog walking or you?
Sometimes. I'm not doing as much lately.
Yeah.
Things have been a bit hectic, but I'm going to start getting back into the walking as well.
Yeah.
It's good for your mental health.
Yeah, it's good for your soul, isn't it?
Good for your soul.
I mean,
Certainly good
dogs.
for the dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are they looking for additional volunteers? Because maybe if people are considering helping on that front, they can get in touch with them.
they've got a shop as well,
Yeah.
a charity shop. So
Yeah,
any
come down
people
there.
who volunteer, they'll give people training
Yeah.
on the do's and don'ts and health and safety things and whatever. And so they after volunteers regularly. As some people drop out or can't do it for a
they
while.
might move on to something else or move out the area or anything. And I suppose the important thing as well, it's not what I always think of when you say I'm volunteering at PawPrints or sort of animal things, is it's always to do with animals, and actually it might be working in the shop that they need help
It might
with.
be working in the shop or doing the washing up in the laundry.
Yeah, doing the laundry
or helping at events.
Yeah, so it's
Or
quite
whatever.
varied, and
Very
it's
varied. Yeah.
even if you think, well, I can't maybe take the dogs for a walk, I can't get around, you might be able to sit on a stool in the shop and help out in a different way. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Or bake a cake
yeah,
for they've got
for the
always got
events,
cake
cake
stalls.
stalls,
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
definitely wouldn't be something I'd do. Yeah, they'd be shut down, talking about health and safety, yeah. Shut the whole event down. So yeah, I'll pop all that in the description, and then hopefully that will, it'll get out there to reach a few more people. It'll be a good day.
Yeah.
But we will dive into first of 5 song choices then, Helen. And all of your songs today are all quite well-known songs, so there shouldn't be any
classics, aren't
surprises. They're all classics, and you've chosen Men at Work, Down Under.
Yes, which back in the day, I was at sixth form when this came out, and it was a fun song.
Yeah.
And it's a jolly upbeat tune, and Australians, and the video as well was great. And it wasn't until I started looking at songs for this that I actually read the lyrics and realised it's not actually that positive at all.
No, I've never actually read the lyrics
Have you
of the
not?
song. So
It's about somebody going round Europe, and they're an Australian,
yeah.
and people are saying that that Australia is under the influence of America and modernising, and that you're losing your culture.
Right.
So, they're saying, "Oh, you're from down under.
Yeah.
Better watch out. What's coming or something. Read the lyrics." But
I read it with
and
them.
I thought, I didn't realise it was about that.
It didn't have quite the meaning that you maybe
But I
thought.
thought, but to me, it was on all the time, and it just reminds me of, being in the sixth form common room and listening to, we had radio on full blast, and
I'd never consider that song to having sort of like an undercurrent of negativity about it at all. It is a very upbeat song.
It really a funny song to me. It was a fun.
Is that the one about the? What's the one with the lyric about the guy who's 6'4"? Is it that?
Yes.
That's that song, isn't it?
Yeah, 6'4" and full of muscle.
Full of muscle, yeah. It's that song, isn't it? I thought it was.
It is. I'm not going to sing it.
No, we won't. Yeah, we won't do the karaoke version. So, yeah.
You wouldn't recognise it if I tried singing. You'd not recognise the tune.
Wouldn't be named that tune in 3 or something, would it? But how odd that there's probably quite a few songs out there where their lyrics or meaning are actually quite at odds.
Yes.
With how you initially feel about them or how they make you feel.
For example, Scissor Sisters. Some of their stuff is really upbeat.
Yeah.
I Don't Feel Like Dancing, which is really upbeat, isn't it? It's tune.
It's very almost. It's not ironic, is it? It's,
I don't feel like dancing because I'm actually quite depressed and miserable.
Whilst banging out this thumping tune, upbeat beats, and
they've got another one. Which what's the name of it? It's about I might kill you. I feel like killing you.
Right.
Sort of lyrics. But again, it's really
cheerful
upbeat.
and how strange.
Yeah, the tune is like a sort of 1920s Charleston type of.
Oh yes,
yes,
I do know the one you mean actually, because
I
think the Sisters are quite well, just because it's quite catchy. So.
Yeah. I can't decide whether you should live or die. It goes, really, right?
Fair enough. Whatever gets you out of bed, I suppose. But well, I think actually that sort of ties in a little bit with the second song, which. It's pretty clear in the whole mood of the song, isn't it? With the whole vibe of it, which is Dire Straits.
Yes.
Brothers in Arms.
I love Dire Straits.
Yeah, and this particular album, I listened to it relentlessly as a kid.
Yeah. I'm a bit older than you, so I was at uni, Huddersfield Polytechnic, as it was then, but uni now. And so it was only 3 years after the Falklands.
Yeah.
I guess that may be why they wrote that song, but Brothers in Arms is a slow song, a bit sort of eerie. The opening line is about mist-covered mountains, and but later on, a couple of years after that, I met who became my hubby.
Yeah.
And he was in the TA for 24 years, and then I started working for the MOD. I did 10 and a half years working on an army camp as a civilian.
Yeah.
So a lot of that sort of resonates with me.
Because you're around that world, aren't
you? The world of
the
Brothers in Arms, and also takes me back to uni days.
Yeah.
Hearing that song all the time on the radio and clubs and so on.
It is a fantastic song. It's very, very good. The whole album's good, but that is it's a bit odd because it's one of the. It's so different from everything else on the album. I think.
Is that the album where they've got the thing with the cartoons of people?
Yeah, Walk of Life.
That's the
money
one.
for Money for Nothing.
Money for Nothing. Yes,
they were both on. They were the first
album.
2 tracks on the album. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was that famous sort of MTV video, Money for Nothing. It was all the sort of blocky animated.
Almost taking the mickey out of MTV itself.
Yeah. It was.
But they
like big chunky removal guys with like Desperate Dan Stubbles and stuff.
That's right.
I think it
was. And the video of Dire Straits playing.
Yeah.
While
this was all
animated
happening.
removal men.
Yeah, that was it.
TVs. Yeah.
And what? So you worked with the MOD for 10 years, but as a civilian. So
yes,
you weren't actually officially in the army, if you like.
No, I was civil servant.
Civil servant. Yeah.
Quite
an interesting job.
Yeah. I started off in sort of logistics and accounting, and then my colleague, after a little while, my colleague left. She retired, and she was the health and safety person, and I thought, I'd like to have a go at that.
Yeah.
So
that's how
I got into health
and
safety. I became the health and safety advisor for the regiment that I was working at.
Yeah.
Just north of here in Nuneaton.
Right.
Gamecock Barracks. I worked there for 10 years. So they trained me in health and safety. That's how I got into it, which is very interesting.
Yeah, and I bet there's obviously quite a lot involved with military health and safety, isn't there?
Yeah.
It's not your run-of-the-mill civilian stuff. So
I mean, obviously there's the normal stuff as well.
Yeah,
but different things that you wouldn't have in most normal walks of life. But we used to say about the safety of things and the viability of something. Is it squaddie proof? Because they have the ability to break anything.
They can destroy anything. Yeah. If it passes that test, it's pretty robust. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that should be the barometer for everything, shouldn't it? If it can survive a squad of those guys, it's golden. Yeah, that's it. It passes. Things would be better all round, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than the CE or kite mark or whatever.
Yeah, it's squaddie proof. Yeah, just get it squaddie proof. Send it in. It's come out the other side. It's good. It's fit for purpose. And your third choice. This is an absolute part, as you put here, a party anthem, isn't it? It's Bon Jovi.
Yeah, Living on a Prayer.
Yeah.
I liked Bon Jovi. When they first came out. I didn't go and see them until early 90s.
Yeah.
I saw them at Milton Keynes and at was it the NEC Arena? It was called back in the day.
Yeah.
I think it's changed names several times.
Yeah, I think is it now the NIA National Indoor Arena?
Yeah.
And I don't think it's the National Outdoor Arena, so I don't know why they've specified that. But there you go. I think that's what it's called now. But yeah, I think it's just the NEC.
But yeah, I went to see them there. So they'd got 2 or 3 more albums out by that point, but the sort of 80s stuff is what I liked the best.
80s Jovi.
That was on Slippery When Wet album, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Living on a Prayer. Like I put ultimate party anthem. It's
a song. Yeah. I don't think that if you hear that, I mean, like you said here when you sent your songs in, it's on full blast, isn't it? You've cranked the volume right round, and surely nobody can resist joining in with that. Whoa, nobody! Yeah. It's impossible. Exactly. If that comes blaring.
Like there's some things that whoever you are, you do like the air guitar to some things. With that one, you just feel like grabbing a microphone. Yeah, and
you've got to give it the full. Everyone's got to join in. I think it's impossible.
And my daughter wasn't even born then. She was born in '96. And she loves it, and that song particularly will sing along in the car. And
it's also a fan, And it's funny, isn't it, how what we listen to as parents. I've got 2 daughters, and then it does influence their song likes as well. Not take over, and they find their own music and stuff. But like I've had my girls say to me, and almost it makes you buzzing like, oh wow, they're loving. Well, listening to Jamiroquai, oh, I've got the Smiths on. You're like, God, that's brilliant. And they're listening to what you were listening to. Yeah. It's pretty cool, isn't it? So, yeah. It's very good. And then the fourth. I'm just checking. That's all good. Yeah. Your fourth choice. And I was just checking when you turned up. We were chatting before. I had a quick look down, and as you say, all the songs you've picked are all real anthems and really well known. And you're the first person to pick this band, which.
The band, not just the song,
not
but
just
the actual band.
Nobody has picked Queen so far, and they are unquestionably one of the biggest bands that's ever walked the earth.
Wow!
And you are episode 22, so however that is 105, 110 choices before nobody's picked Queen, which actually is amazing. I thought I thought a couple of people would pick a Queen song, but no, you're the first. And you've picked. I mean, I can't pick a favourite Queen song. No. It change from week to week. But you've gone with "Don't Stop Me Now," which is a dangerous song to drive with. But,
yes.
What a tune!
Probably. Yeah. I mean, most of the Queen songs I absolutely love, and it is difficult to pick a favourite Queen. But this one, again, it's upbeat. It's joyous. If you're feeling down. It just really lifts you. Yeah. Don't stop me now. I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball.
Yeah. What else do you need to think about? Yeah. It really does. It's just brilliant. Just lifts you. It's absolutely brilliant. It really cheers you up. And,
I mean, Bohemian Rhapsody as well, I absolutely love. And a lot of their songs I absolutely love, but this one is just such
it's
a good feel, good mood song.
Yeah, if it'd never fail to lift you, would it? I think no matter how you were, if you put this on, it really does elevate you. And like you say, and Freddie, when he died in 91.
91, November 91.
Yeah,
I know.
So long ago.
I know. You think about some people who've passed, and like John Lennon. I was still at high school.
Yeah.
1980, December 1980, and you think it's like 5 minutes ago.
And it doesn't feel that long ago.
No,
at all.
It really doesn't.
And I remember. I mean, I was halfway through secondary school when Freddie died.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that, and the concert they did afterwards. And you had George Michael and Lisa Stansfield. Do you remember that? Fantastic concert in tribute to him. Just such a shame.
And of course nobody knew at the time what it was that he'd got. He was a very private person, wasn't he? But such a showman. And when they first came out, Queen, they were very different to what was around at the time in the charts and whatever, and people weren't sure how to take them. But weren't they the first ones to do a music video? I think Bohemian Rhapsody might have been the first music video, possibly. I don't know.
I don't know actually. It's possible. I'd have to look that up.
But they were very
really out there, weren't they? Compared to
testing the limits of things and new, different music, different ethos, and Brian May being an absolutely brilliant guitarist.
Such a guitarist, and like you say, they were pushing the boundaries.
The
film that they've done, all these biopics that have come out, and there's a massive flurry of them at the minute, aren't there?
Yeah.
And the Queen one, I don't know if you've seen it.
I haven't seen that one yet. I've seen Rocket Man.
Oh yeah, for Elton.
And I've seen the Bob Marley one that was out a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
One Love. That was brilliant.
I'm waiting on a Bowie one. I'm a big Bowie fan. And as my daughter said, it should just be called Starman, but it's worth watching, and it's interesting because obviously we all sort of like Queen and we've watched their music, and I still think their Live Aid performance is it has to be one of the best live things you've ever seen ever. But when you watch this film, and actually I'm watching this and going, do you know, I don't actually think I like this guy. Freddie, the way he was portrayed, I don't know how accurate it is. I'm assuming reasonably accurate because a lot of people that he knew were involved with it. And his personality made me go, there's a few things about him here that would annoy me. But you forgive all of that because the guy was literally a musical genius. He was an absolute genius.
An amazing voice.
Voice, showmanship, everything was just class. But he was if you get a chance, watch it because it kind of addresses that, how they were pushing the boundaries and how they were sort of at odds with their record label because they wanted to go a certain way and they were like, no, that's not da-da, and they had to go off on their own or with another label. And you think, well, you're glad they did because they weren't pigeonholed into a certain way that was popular. Otherwise, who knows, it might not have happened. But he pushed and said, no, this is how it's got to be, and that's how these sort of masterpieces have obviously come about.
Exactly, masterpieces. And why they become a classic.
Yeah.
They might not have been.
Yeah.
If they just count out.
That's it.
To the music label, of what was fashionable or whatever.
They'd have just fit in with everything else that was around at the time, and it wouldn't have stood out, and it wouldn't have been these iconic songs, aren't they?
They are iconic. That's a good word. Yeah.
Yeah. So thankfully he was an incredibly stubborn and strong-willed man. And we're on to your final choice, and this one is Eurythmics with There Must Be an Angel.
Yeah. At the time I wasn't particularly a Eurythmics fan.
Yeah.
Looking back, it reminds me of a particular time of my life. I can put myself back into that, where I was when I heard it.
Yeah, it takes you back to that moment, doesn't it?
I think music does that, doesn't it? It can do. But she has the most amazing range.
Yeah.
A fantastic voice, unmistakable voice.
Unmistakable, that's the word, isn't it? The
Yeah.
minute you hear it, you know it's Annie Lennox straight
Yeah.
away.
And that song in particular makes you appreciate her voice and her range.
Yeah.
You know, she goes up and down and, you know, doesn't it?
She covers a lot of vocal ground, doesn't she?
Does, yeah. So it reminds me of where I was that year or that summer when I heard it. I was in Cornwall.
So this was in the summer of '85. I've got here.
Yes.
So what were you doing in Cornwall?
I was on holiday with some friends.
Yeah.
And this song came out. I might have heard it before, but I just remember being in that particular place
when it kind of
stuck
with you
in my head. Yeah. But yeah, and since then, or you know, looking back, I do like Eurythmics songs. This one in particular, but her voice, this one resonates the most.
Yeah. Her voice is spectacular, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's probably one of the top 5 females ever, I would say. For me, anyway. I think she's very unique. But yeah, brilliant act.
And like Dire Straits, Bon Jovi, not so much Men at Work because I think they were of their era.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they're still going, but you don't really hear of them now.
No,
but the other ones that I've chosen are people who you still listen to now. They're still going.
Timeless, aren't they?
Timeless. That's right. Timeless. Yeah.
Yeah. All of those songs and their albums and everything, and the sort of legacy they left behind, and they're so good that they are timeless. And as you say, with your daughter, listen to Bon Jovi and all these things and they'll carry on. I think they will carry on for a long time with the music that they've created. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't got a clue what's in the charts at the moment. When I'm in the car, I tend to listen to Classic FM. I do like classical music. Interestingly enough, some classical music is some things like Queen. They've made a classic album of Queen songs.
Queen songs, right?
Yeah. So it's like done. I can't remember who the guy is who's sort of remastered it with their permission.
Yeah. That'd be quite interesting.
Yeah. So it's all like strings and whatever.
Because I'm not much of a fan of classical, but something like that I would certainly be interested to. I'll have to try and find that on one of the streaming services and see if I can have a listen. Because that'd be pretty.
Tolga Kashif, his name is.
Tolga Kashif.
Okay. Yeah. I can't remember how to spell it.
Yeah.
But he's
Tolga, right.
He's a composer,
I
guess, and he's remastered a Queen medley.
Yeah.
Into an album.
Quite interesting.
It's really good. And you pick up. Oh, that's a bit of Bohemian Rhapsody. That's a little bit of
Radio Gaga or something in there.
You pick up the tunes or whatever. Yeah. And some things like say Il Divo, they'll get some pop songs that they've remastered and done it in a classical way, like an operatic sort of way. And it's interesting, but I haven't a clue. You know, if I listen to Radio 1 now, I wouldn't recognise most of the stuff, I guess.
There's always a point, I believe, where you get on how I term it is you get off the musical bus.
Yes.
I don't want to carry on anymore. I think mine seems to be 2010. Anything after 2010, I think I've gone off at that stop.
Yeah.
And I'm only really, that was my era. 80s I was growing up, 90s, school, college, 2000s, first job, first home, whatever. And those are the decades that I always gravitate to.
Yes.
60s and 70s from listening to my parents' music.
Yes.
And the music I grew up around as a young kid and whatever. But anything after that, like you, I no idea.
There's some things that, like modern classics, say like Adele. I don't know if she's in the charts these days. I haven't a clue.
Yet, no idea.
But
probably.
It's not 90s and whatever. It's more recent. Taylor Swift. I like her things.
Yeah.
She's almost certainly in the charts, I guess.
Yeah.
She's doing a tour at the moment.
And that's the thing. It's not like if I hear some of them, like my older daughter particularly is into music, and she'll play something. I'll quite occasionally give her a control over the car stereo. And she'll play something. I quite like this, and it's a modern song, so I don't just dislike everything, but I have no idea
what it is.
No idea what it is, who's singing it, what year it's from, nothing.
Yeah.
Complete mystery.
Same here.
Yeah, there's definitely a point, isn't there, where you cut off, I think.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be any good in a pub quiz, is what I always think. With anything past that point where you stop.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's 80s, 90s, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Anything,
Yeah.
anything modern.
Much out of that.
Yeah.
No, you need someone else on the team, don't you? From that era, definitely. Cool. Okay. Right. We're all done. Thank you very much for coming in on a Sunday.
Okay.
Much appreciated. So yeah, this will go out tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
I'll tag you and include you on all the posts on social so that you'll see it. And yeah, thanks again.
Thank you for having me.
Cool.